Welcome to the mop here on a Thursday morning. Yes, that's right, early December and frigid. We are very cool here in southwest Wisconsin today. It is making ice, and guys are talking ice fishing, which makes me excited. So we will be on the ice soon, I am sure. I wait till we get at least 4 to 6. 2 inches, they say, for a human, not this human. Thank goodness a lot of places we fish, I could probably hit bottom and still stand, but it will still make for a very cold day. Welcome to the Thursday morning and bowling tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Always look forward to getting back on the lanes. I got a bowling tournament on Sunday in Dickeyville. A fundraiser for scholarship program down there. Getting the team together for that. Honker will be sponsoring that. So Honker's out of Muscadet. We will be bowling in that tournament on Sunday if everything aligns the way it should. And that is in Dickeyville. Love Sunset Lanes. They do a great job down there. So welcome. Are we back in the 1950s, 40s, 60s? I think it was 1970s when ladies could finally put their name on a mortgage, I think. Was right around that time. Why are we still disrespecting females? So Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, the President. You notice the President only calls females dumb, and are they stupid? Do you notice that Mike Johnson also made the attempt to say women belong in the kitchen recently? He said they cannot compartmentalize. That's why they are where they are. I am married to a woman that can do all the above, and she is a very professional lady. She's way more professional than I am, way smarter than I am. I know way too many women that have been very successful in the business world, and yet we are being led by men who have no respect for the females that are in the same positions. See, I think Mike Johnson has to do that because he has to be able to hold hands with Mr. Trump and not be in trouble. So he is going to continue down this path. See, this is where I think we need to have also the rule that when you're done in office, there's no more guaranteed pay, okay? We pay you for doing the job you're doing. But once you're done, kind of like we are. You know, if I quit tomorrow, I don't just keep getting paid. I don't understand how we can still allow that. And then we're trying to convince ourselves that we need to get the debt under control and spending under control. That would be a big part of it. Warren Buffett actually has a perfect plan to handle the debt. And they're never going to implement it, I know, because then that means that they have to actually work for one and then be held accountable for another, and that just doesn't work. So, but Mr. Johnson, it's time to wake up because there's a lot of strong women that are putting you on the chopping block. A lot of educated women as well that will be doing that. See, I don't think we are... God, I can't hope we don't roll back to when it was okay to yell, scream, rant, and rave at, and ladies were on a different level. They still have never became equal yet in most people's eyes. That alone, above and beyond. I know way too many ladies that are doing great things, and they're leaving men in the dust for how smart they are and what they're doing. So, I'm tired of hearing about how the leaders of this nation don't have the respect for the females. Now I add color to the mix, and they really don't. And to have our president stand in front of ladies on a plane or in a meeting or a briefing and say, what are you, stupid? When is the man in that meeting going to stand up and say, enough? Enough already. Stop. See, that's what pisses me off even more, is there's people in that room that will not stand up for colleagues because of whatever they're afraid of. Somebody that stands up for these ladies and actually argues on behalf of them will gain tenfold the respect, and it'll probably move them in a very good direction. But it sounds like Johnson, the lady out of Michigan, is going to follow suit and get with Marjorie Taylor Greene and probably resign from her position. I hope that doesn't happen, because I feel that then you're losing the voice. They're winning. Those that are downgrading or downplaying are winning. And I don't want to see that. I want to see a country where we can have everybody. We have now a president that says because there's from certain countries or wherever, and they are already elected into the positions, that they shouldn't be there because of whatever. Is that not enough proof that this is not a country meant for the free, meant for the people that should be able to do whatever they want as long as it's legal? And it's not just because we're complaining. That's the big thing right now about what he's saying with the Somalians in Minnesota, is they are complaining and they are whiners. Well, who the hell isn't whining right now except for the MAGA flag wavers? Who isn't whining right now because of the direction this country is headed? We have the Pope that even is saying, probably praying a lot for us right now. Things are going south. I don't have money to influence anybody. I just don't. I'm not that wealthy. I don't have that dollar to wave in front of people. See, you noticed that how big a difference money makes is, look at the case of the doctors that have been selling medications and things to superstars, movie star, whatever. They're selling narcotics and whatever because the money starts to cloud their vision. Our vision has been clouded for a while because of not what is right or wrong. It is how many Franklins and gold bars and whatever else that these guys can get on the side. Hunter Biden is not the only one that is being paid excessive amounts or was paid. I believe you are seeing Trump Jr. getting the same kind of things right now. But nobody wants to pay attention to that. Everybody wants to revert back to, oh, look at Sleepy Don, blah, 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 Biden Sleepy Joe. What about the guy that fell asleep in his cabinet meeting? Oh, he wasn't sleeping. He's exhausted from working 24/7. See, they make excuses all the time. It's no different than when they said, well, if Clinton's in the Epstein files, then fine, pull him. Show everything. And if he's in there, he needs to go. That's what most people that are on moral basis would say. Is, oh, you don't want to see those because who was going to go to prison then? I don't give a shit. If they're in the files, they need to go. If Hegseth committed war crimes, he needs to go. And not pass the buck. He's in charge. If a business goes bankrupt, the manager doesn't go under the bus. The owner does. So why is it any different in any of this? Now they're saying they were the two that were surviving at first were communicating, trying to salvage what drugs were left. So that's why they got the second strike. It still doesn't make them a threat to the United States when they're clinging to a lifeboat or their own boat that blew up. I've owned a boat. Shit quits working after you hit a rough wave, let alone a missile. So I doubt, maybe, what were they talking on? I want to hear the recordings that you guys have this proof of. They're not a threat floating to a half piece of fiberglass. And we're not, God, I hope we're not that dumb to think that that's okay. I just hope not. We should be smarter. If you're okay with what's all taking place, that we're just dropping bombs out of the sky onto these people, I struggle with it. I don't believe they're a threat. Like I said yesterday, if they pull up on the beaches of California in a boat, where's the threat still? We should have enough people to handle 3 guys or 2 guys in a boat, is what I'm thinking. Just my thought. If we can't handle 3 guys in a boat, our Navy, Coast Guard, whatever, needs help. What are they going to have? A couple of Uzis, maybe? Was anybody approached to where they opened fire and then we decide to blow them up? And then we've got people that are saying, well, now we're not going to give SNAP benefits to Democratic-led states until they prove who's all on SNAP benefits. There isn't people giving SNAP benefits to people that don't deserve them. And if they are, so what? People need benefits to get through things. There's not this big fraud that you have been taught. Everybody wants to buy into this whole big story of fraud and misuse, and the biggest fraud and misuse is in the Capitol right now, to where they can do whatever the hell they want, impose whatever they want, whenever they want, and get away with it. Like I said too, if there's proof of fraud and misuse in Minnesota, then Governor Walz needs to be taken care of and handled and charged appropriately. He opened that up yesterday. Bring it on. Come on and do the investigation. I'd be careful who does the investigation, but they should be able to have an investigation then. And he said, bring it on. If you think there's fraud and misuse, come on aboard. See, there's a lot of story starting that then all of a sudden everybody runs with. All these mega people, they want to run with the story and say, oh, look at this. We found it. We found it. You haven't found shit yet. And when it comes out, and if it's proven, then punishments need to go down. But we need to first start with the obvious ones that we're not punishing now, because we have people that are legitimately trying to justify what we're doing. The last I knew, and I summed it up, I guess I'm going to sum it up this way, is if a guy comes out of his car and you deem him a threat and you shoot him in both knees and you kick the gun away and he's laying there with 2 shot knees, and then the cop pops him twice more, who's going to be in trouble? Was the guy laying there bleeding in his knees still a threat? No, probably not. But that's what we're doing. With that second strike, you blew up 2 people that were just clinging to a boat that should have easily have been able to be captured and put away. And then you had also had drugs that they were trying to save as evidence that, hey, look what we're doing is actually supposed to be doing. So if a cop would happen to do that, shoot both knees, take care of the threat, but then walk up and decide, nah, he's still a threat, and shoot him twice more, the cop's going away, correct? That's how I feel about the whole scenario. It's just common sense, people. Common sense. And I'm losing faith in a lot of people's common sense. And people argue with me, and that's fine. It's okay. They don't argue with me. Nobody argues with me. I don't argue with them. We can have a discussion. But if you're okay with how everything's going, treating people here, and then you're okay with the president saying that, well, we're going after Somalians now because, they stink. Their country stinks. So we're going to go after them because they're whiners and they smell. And their whole country stinks. And then we also have a leader that says, hey, here's my MRI report. It says I'm excellent. I have all A's. If anybody's ever had an MRI done, you know the terminology. That's probably why we don't get the terminology, because a lot of them can't say it. But there's never been a extremely awesome, great position to be. No. So, education is huge. Wish everyone the best. Like I said, bowling night tonight. I get back on the lanes after 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes. Everybody have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow morning. But then another edition of the Mop. I truly appreciate everybody that tunes in. I like the likes. Remember, if you want to go back and look at all my other videos, or if you want to see them, they're all on YouTube. 320 some of them that I have on YouTube. And then maybe tomorrow I am going to discuss some sales things that I'm seeing around as well, and try to get off some of this discussion. But it's one of those things again. It's just my channel, and it bugs the shit out of me on how right now we're thinking in the world. It's time to start caring and helping move others, people in the right direction. So have a great day. I'll talk to you all tomorrow morning with another edition of the Mop. And as always, take time to bless somebody today.